All right, we'll start in about 50 seconds or so, but just letting people get in here. Sick. Popping out the chat so I can see it a little better. How's it going, French? All right, so that is me. Essentially, for what we're going to be doing today is I got this new software, FX Replay. So we're just going to be kind of testing this out, kind of back testing. And then for those of you who haven't back tested before, can kind of learn how to do that. I'm not going to do the journaling aspect of it just for time's sake reasons, but we will go ahead and get started. So, how's it going, Vibe? If someone wants to, we'll just do like 10,000. You guys want to do NAS or the S&P? It's up to you guys to decide. How's it going, Tifile? Here, I'll do a little poll. ES. All right, we'll do ES. I don't trade EU, so S&P. Looks like most are saying S&P. We'll go with that. Someone choose date, month. Choose a month. I wonder if my stream is slightly delayed or something. But if you guys want to choose a month, January, July, November. Once I see like 3 of the same, I'll just choose that. July. All right. We'll just do July then, because that is. And then what year you guys want? July. Probably want to do it recently, like maybe 2021. That'd be a year ago. All right, we'll just go 2022. Okay. Seen a lot of 2020. Okay, cool. So we'll do July 2022. All right, I'm still new to this, so getting used to it. July 2022, and then we'll just start on the 1st. And let's go to August 1st, I guess. Okay, and then we'll just do YouTube. What website is this? This is Elite, or I mean, this is FX Replay. But essentially, you create this, and then you hit play, and then it'll take us in to here. And I'll take off whatever indicators they have here. Move this down or to the side, and 1990. So we'll go to the daily, and you can see we're in July here of looks like last year, and so we'll go ahead and mark out some price just missing right there. But this 39 on the daily, fetch into this little order block, right? Because we slept these lows, right? Moved higher. This is our down close candle. Could consider that, but I'll just use that. And then we have a fair value gap right here. Right. So I would say that's likely our daily draw on liquidity. Would be a reach up into this area. Not completely certain, but that's what we're gonna, think. And so then our 4 hour, integrate FCX. I don't know what FCX is. Yeah, the only downside. Yeah, I actually reached out to the owners of this, and they said they're looking to add separate symbols within like a month or so then we could do SMT, because that's like a big part of my strategy. But with this in mind, we have the reach higher. Didn't take the low. I just wish I could see an SMT if it occurred right here. But this would be our obvious draw on liquidity. Here's our 4 hour. And then our daily is right here, right? So I'll just mark that out actually as well. FX. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but for drop down to the hourly, let's see, the mitigation block failed. All right. So just kind of marking out the obvious things here, kind of give us our idea. Really, what I'll probably do is give a little poll, see what you guys think is going to happen. But yeah, this is integrated with the TradingView API, pretty sure. So it's not exactly the same, but it's relatively close. If that makes sense. Yeah, probably an older version. It works. And then what I am going to do is mark a vertical line once we get to 9 a.m. And I forget, I have to change my time over to New York. It's only 5 a.m. So we'll go to 9 a.m. Go up here. Head. I want to see it reach into this order block and then see what the reaction is. Right, that's 10 a.m. 9 a.m. Okay. So with that right there, what I see is we retch into this order block, fairly respected. Right, if we go to like a 4-hour, see no closes below there. Oops. 1 hour. I would have preferred this to go slightly lower, but we do have a little fair value gap right here. And so likely I would think we do something like that, right? That would be my idea. Yeah, bar replay won't let me do that. And then also, this allows you to go, like, you can sit on a higher time frame right here and move it 1 minute by 1 minute on like an hourly, right? And it doesn't repaint. So if I go back out, go to a lower time frame and come back out, it's not going to repaint it. So, but this would be kind of my plan, right? I'd want to see something like that just because I believe the draw is higher. One thing that's slightly worrisome is these lows right here, right? They could get ran before we reach higher. Yeah, so I'll actually do that real quick. Here's a 15. You can have the hour up as well. So, but what I'm going to do is we'll have it on, let's say the 5 minute. And I want to see if we get a reach lower into this area. Going to so about 15. And I want to see if we reach down into that area before we move higher. Okay. So we did get that hourly fair value gap or reach. Now I'd want to see sort of confirmation, right? So depending on where this candle sits, right? So it reach into here and then it move out of there. Right? And it makes sense that we stopped right here because what do we have right there? That's our little breaker and a fair value gap, right? So if we move here, that, and then, but yeah, what are you guys thinking here? Does this look like a long position to you? What are your thoughts? I'm kind of thinking that we see a long position. Let's see, daily's looking long. So I kind of want it, and then so this is how lows are too clean. All right, we'll see. Might run the lows first, but I'll show you guys how it works in the software for like a long entry, right? So all you do is you pull up this, wherever you're going to take a long, wherever you'd have your stop, right? And wherever you have your target, like that. And then all you do is hit place order, and it does it automatically, right? And then it'll throw it in. Or it should have. Oh yeah, there it goes. it throws in the limit, stop, everything like that, right? So we'll just see how this works, but I don't know why it's kind of glitching out. So you could partial there, but this is our draw on liquidity. Right? And so there we go. And the cool thing is like, so we risk 1%, and since we had a 10-hour trade, right, have that P&L of 1,000 there, so our account is up to 11,000, risking $100 per trade. So pretty solid there. With the MSS. What time is it? Well, that's actually like right during lunchtime, actually. But this is July, I think. Let's see. It is a Monday of July. But so there's that first trade, right? And then there's our draw on liquidity being taken. There's our 15, right? So there we hit those highs on the hourly. So now if we hop out, we can see we could have gotten a lot more out of it if we used that 4-hour as our draw. Consider the lows being too clean. I mean, yes and no. Usually when you have this, there's likely an SMT I can't really check. But the thing is like, I can try this here, mitigate my risk. And if I'm wrong, well, I take a stop out, right? If we come back, retake the lows, I'm still that long bias. And then I try it again. So, but I don't trade the afternoon session, and it looks like we're actually, yeah, it looks like we're actually into the, let me double check that the time zone is right here. Okay, no, so it looks like we're into Asia now. Yeah. Oh, it kind of has a weird split there. I guess that was in Asia. Whatever. So we will go to the next day, which we will just pan forward. So go an hour ahead. Doesn't really seem like Asia. That's why I think I might have the time setting messed up somehow. No? Says it's right. Weird. But yeah, let's let this play out. There's London. Right there I just used the 5-minute. So if we go back and look, that one I just used. Broke up, went to a point of interest, had an aggressive move out of it, then we could take the risk off that low. So that's essentially all I did. This isn't TradingView, this is actually FX Replay. Yeah, that's actually planning on making that my next video, but we will hop into so this is morning session right now, right? London. So London took, we're gonna mark out midnight real quick. Midnight, and then, so what do we have? London and equal highs. We'll see what happens. Likely with this large range, I just fall back into it. Somewhere, I would say 38.20 area. Looks like a nice draw. Oops, I went an hour ahead. That's okay. So we did fall back down. We'll go to 8 o'clock open. 30. Switch to the 15-minute. Go ahead. Mark out our 8:30. I think that high looks nice. But we'll mark this out and then we'll go out to a higher time frame quick. So 8:20, skip ahead. 9. Okay, so we're gonna hop out, pick these off, hop out to the 4 hour. Thank you. Thanks. I didn't know how the first trade on this was gonna go because I haven't used this software much. But let's go look at the daily real quick, see what it's looking like. So reach up into here, could possibly reach down into that order block here. Could happen. I don't really know. But I think that we're just going to kind of stay range bound. I still want bullish or higher prices on the daily. So with that idea in mind, right, if we do go take these lows, I'd want higher. Not super interested in this. Let's see. We'll go back to the 4 hour real quick. Discount. I mean, I think, yeah, pretty sure. Second. They gave me a discount code for you guys. I don't get any money from it, but they gave me a discount code for anyone. And there's a 5-day free trial, but it's that called FX replay. Why higher on the daily? Well, the way I see it is if we pull up the daily here, I don't know how, but normally in a downtrend, when we take a low, we get aggressive move higher. We at least reprice to the order block or seek liquidity up here or OTE, right? And currently, the way we're sitting, we're just into a premium, but I want to see kind of an OTE. So at least up into this area, if not into these highs, these being left like that. We'll see. How do you keep your line bias over that fair value gap on a 4-hour? Let me pull it up. I mean, I just don't. I think it's more probable to take long trades on a higher time frame, right? Not that on a lower time frame you couldn't go short, because it can happen. But the way I see it is like I'm still bullish on the higher time frames. Oh, discount area of the chart. Gotcha. So we are in an OTE area here. What I am gonna do is hop out to the 1 hour here. Oh, that is 1 minute, not 1 hour. Kind of just rangey. The thing I don't like is normally when you have midnight and 8:30 very separated, you don't get a whole lot occurring. We're gonna hop down to 15 here. You get into longs or do you get your discount? Not always, right? Like sometimes I'll take trades even if they're not in discount. Like that latest example on my page, I shorted when it wasn't even in a premium. But what range am I working with? Oh, hold up. Let me pull up an hour on this side. Right now we're stuck in this range, which is this larger range, right? So if you just look at this larger range right here, we're just at a kind of an equilibrium. That's why I'm not super curious as to what this price is going to do. Yeah, I'm not super biased right now. I'll probably sideline unless something shows up on the 15. Like if we get some bullish structure moving up, it's either going to trend it down or fall back into the range. I think it's more likely to fall back into the range just with my bullish narrative on the daily. But we'll see. 930 is right here, so we'll skip ahead 1 candle. Okay, so reach into that order block. I want to see if it respects it or not. So on the hourly, right, we did close below that. Maybe we get a trend day down. That's a tough one. Really, if you can manage risk, you don't need to enter at a discount premium. It's just higher probability, if that makes sense. So continuing down, we'll see if we get what lunch kind of does, if we're going to fall back up into this range, or if we're going to get a continuation to the downside. I know everyone was kind of sketchy of these lows, so maybe we take those lows, and I'll draw those out. I want to draw that one and this one, right? Because this is the one that the unmitigated fair value gap there. So heading into lunch here, one thing to notice, fair value gap, mitigation block. So we'll see, touch 830, likely to draw back to here even if we go higher, or not. Not really anything I'm super interested in. We could go down to the 5-minute and see if it gave anything. Not much that I'm interested there either. Let's see, 1 minute. And you could have, still nothing super sick. Take out of the open 830. Let's pull out the daily real quick. Right, so the way I see it here is seeing how this daily order block just keeps getting respected here. So I almost feel like we're gonna reach higher here. But I don't really know. One thing I want to mark out, I wish once they come out with being able to watch SMTs and other things like that, that'll be really sweet. Breakaway gap, I've started to learn those, but I'm not in a position to be trying to teach about that. So have zero idea. So I will not be able to do that. If we do get a drop into this, I mean, if I wanted to take, I kind of want to take a long position on the 15-minute. I never really do that, but it would look something like this. The only thing that worries me there is a drop lower here that we could get. We'll just see. Didn't even touch it for taking the objective. So did reach higher. I want to see 15 or 5-minute what it gave. So it did kind of give a little upsetting it didn't touch there, but did respect these down close candles here, right here, here. So reach higher. I wonder, I think we might get a little pullback here. I'd expect something like this if we're, depending on time of day, 1440. Might just continue to rip higher. We'll see. Yeah. So I would have missed that move, which is fine. So new day. Do you feel comfortable trading the 1 minute? Yeah, I do. I'll find a setup here and I'll show you how I'd enter on the 1 minute. I'm going to switch out to the hourly and we'll hop up to the New York session. What I am going to draw out here is these lows right in here. Oops. Actually, go to the 4-hour. I want to take the aggregation there. Those ones. Likely what I'm expecting long term here. Dip, move up. You normally trade London and New York. I normally just trade New York AM session. But I'm going to go ahead or move forward to the AM session here for New York, right there. And then we'll get there. Okay, 7, 8, 9. There. I'm gonna mark out is midnight open right here and 8:30. So I gotta switch down time frames real quick. The 5 minute. I might have to. This is like a bug or something because this is showing 9:30. This is like. I guess we are at 9. Oh, maybe that's just how it forms on the hourly. Okay, weird. 8:30. Why did I mark out this low? It's kind of the box setup, right? So you have consolidation, aggressive down, aggressive up. Retest the low of that consolidation before moving higher. Good. We're up. Our first trade was 10R, so pretty decent. But yeah, this is being recorded. The one thing I'm noticing here on the hourly, right? We reach above these highs and we're failing to displace above, which gives me the indication that we want to reach lower, right? So with that idea in mind, I am going to play this ahead. I want to see well, we already reached above midnight, but a reach above midnight to drop lower here, and at least take these overnight lows before continuing higher. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. We're going to go to 5 minute here. So there's the whippy open. And so like box setup wise, I would be looking around this area. Boom, boom, right? Which worked out, right? It's not super amazing price action. It would be low 830. Want to see lower. That actually I probably should have just taken that targeting this low down here or overnight lows. So we should see these overnight lows. Oops, it's like lagging a little bit. There's that order block. Should get a drop. Okay. Took those lows. Now I want to see if we displace through these lows or we fall back into the range. Not really a whole lot. Let's switch back to the 5 minute. Wait, you can see that's kind of the box setup, how it works on those time frames. Still want to drop a little bit lower. May not get it. Looks like we're not going to get it. So there's midnight. Kind of already through the day. Yeah. I mean, so whoever was asking, you said how to trade the 1 minute. That essentially would have been one way to. The only thing there is that's a fair bit of risk, right? Targeting these lows, right? Still would have worked out, but it's not really the risk I want to put on. Um, yeah, kind of a choppy day. I want to see what that daily's looking like. Just doing almost nothing. Awesome. So we'll see what happens here. Ideally, I don't know. I still want these lows ran. I'm kind of with you guys on they look kind of sus, but might rip higher. Yeah, pretty choppy. So came down. Probably should have just been on the 15 minute there. 15 minute was cleaner, right? You have the fair value gap, little order block below it. So did reach higher. Not super confident in a lot of this price action, not gonna lie. Go to 15. But there's a nice little rejection. This is where I'd kind of expect that. Because normally you get a rejection high a day, wants to return to midnight if it's in this range. And it looks like we're in the overnight session, so didn't quite get it. But how do you manage time frame switching during the market? I normally have the higher time frames up and then just points of interest, and then when I'm watching, I'll just watch those points of interest, if that makes sense. I do have multiple screens, so like I have my YouTube on my right screen right now. But that makes sense. So equal lows put in here, displacement down, breaking this structure. Equal highs too. This is kind of where I expect London to come in, sweep the highs before going down. But we'll see. Yeah, no sweep to the lows. Sweep the lows, then the highs. Okay. So midnight open. I'll see something real quick. Okay, it's fine. I haven't traded crypto with it, but I know people that have. I just don't trade crypto, so not going to be any help there. Go up to the 15-minute. Keep this one on the hourly. This is really a kind of crap price action. Accumulating for something. Maybe a move higher. I don't know. I think if this accumulation may or may not reach below or running higher. The reason I say that is just this right here. V shape, right? Aggressive down, aggressive up. That's why I was wanting to reach below here. Equal lows. Ideally, this would be my ideal setup. But will we get that? Who knows? All right. Go to the hour, or I want to get to 1. Okay. I'll do the hourly. Get to New York AM session. That's what I trade. So, all right, AM session, we're going to up to 15, go ahead a couple. So one thing I notice here, we do have our sell or buy side sitting above, right? We also just took overnight highs, right? So if we are going to drop, reach below here. This is kind of the setup where we see accumulation here. I want to see a deviation below midnight. That's our manipulation before going higher. So that is what I will be looking for. This is FX replay, and it's web based, so it should work on Mac. Yeah. So 930 hits. This I will be I kind of want to look for a short off the open, if my bias is right. So what I am going to do hourly. Yeah, I'm wanting to reach right into there. We'll see if we get it. But I'm going to pull up like a 1 minute here for those who. I'm also just going to take these off because I know where we're sitting on the daily. Kind of, not really. But here we go. So we already took those Asia highs. I want to see if we get displacement down, right? So 925. So we'll reach, and that is, I accidentally went in 15 minutes ahead. That is not displacement down. That is just a rip higher. So no move below midnight open. Looks like the tap was enough to run this buy side. Now I want to pull up the daily, see where we're at. we're into that point of interest now. I want to see, are we going to reject this area or if we're going to reach for this sell side, right? So mark out these right there. Back to the hourly. We'll do 4 hour first. Sorry, this is not very optimal price action for the way I trade, but order block there, right? Down close candles before running a high, move below. That's our order block. I'm actually going to mark out the wick to body of that. Yeah, we'll just leave it. Order block there, the 4 hour is where the 4 hour fair value gap fills. Drop down to the hourly. We have an hourly fair value gap up there. We'll just mark it in case we dig into it. All right. So considering we kind of missed the breakout, this isn't something I really want to chase. So we'll let it play out. Oh, that's kind of cool. We can just watch it play out at 4x speed on the 1 minute. All right, so there is a drop down. If this is going to be an inducement setup to continue higher, we won't displace below this low. Should get something like that. We're going to reach for new highs. Just choppy, but it still can't close below these lows. Sorry, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. So really sloppy. Holy chop. No thanks. All right, so was an inducement setup, just very sloppy below the lows. Right, had to sit through quite a bit. We're finally making a move higher, reaching up into that hourly or 4 hour order block. I would want to be long here, yeah, but since I missed this move up, this is just kind of where I would be looking for an entry. Really, the only entry would be something like this, where you get displacement up, right? Unless you go down to a 15-second chart, which I can't see, but move below here, move up, could take the order block or fair value gap entry, and then that would just be like essentially target there or there, right? Should go run up there. So, but I just don't feel like taking that. How do I watch me live trade? I stream in the Discord I'm in currently. Right now I do lunch sessions and an open stream, but I might be moving to 3 open streams. So, did reach up into that 4 hour order block. We'll want to see, likely here, not wanting to mess with a bullish trend like this, trying to just short it, so I hop out to the higher time frames, see what the 15-minute wants to do. Sometimes it's a little slow, I've noticed, if you switch too much, try to do too much. Right, so until we shift structure on a higher time frame, all these down close candles are technically buying opportunities. For example, normally, some free game. Normally, when you have these down close candles or blocks in here, you should have a lower time frame fair value gap within it. May not have one. It's kind of sloppy, but that is where I normally look for trades, is within a higher time frame block. So let this play out, and it looks like we're into the afternoon session. So we'll either get an afternoon session continuation or a reversal, or just kind of close. But if we are going to have a trend day like this, normally you want it to do something like this and then continue up, right? Because you have your open, high, low, close, right, on a candle. So if you look, we had our open, really no low put in, but open, high, put in a high somewhere up here. Normally want to close into the highs. So we'll see what happens. I don't trade the afternoon session. Yeah, normally I'll screenshot and put it in a journal. I'm actually, once I get more familiar with the software, I'm going to make a video on it. But so there's our continuation, right? And that's like once you recognize a trend day, my buddy Midnight is an insane options trader, always just like the only thing you'll regret here is selling. So reaching up, you notice we're into that hourly fair value gap here. This could be a point of interest if we're not going to reach for our buy side there, right? So into the overnight now. So what I will do is I'm going to shift ahead to the next day. Yeah, of course. Okay. So point of interest, starting to break structure, right? Once we break this intermediate term low right here, this is really where we shift our structure, right? I don't trade this time, but that is a valid setup here, right? And that would just be a breaker entry, essentially this candle here, right? And that's because we're shifting structure. But our draw on liquidity, where is it? I'd say it's right in here, right? So we'll see once we get to our 9:30. Holy chop. All right. Well, hit our draw on liquidity pretty cleanly. I actually want to see. Yeah, slightly missed it. All right, right before 9:30 open, switch to moving on the 15-second or 15-minute. Yeah, I'll yes, this will all be any video I do live on my channel will be recorded and it's just saved to my channel. Um, I have not looked at IDR/DR, and the majority, the main reason for that is I'm normally done trading from 9:30 to 11, so by the time the initial range forms, I'm normally wanting to be done already, if that makes sense. So, and as for strategy with the highest R, that comes down to more risk management than anything. So, but there was our move lower there. I want to see what happens around this area, right? So let's see. London takes the high, moves down. This possibly could be a nice day lower. Basically, we have our Asia range, right? Which just kind of consolidates. London, this area takes the high of it, right? There's the little box setup, right? And using this deviation, retest, drop. If we're going to get a New York continuation, you should see something like that. Yes, it will be available. For the most part, my strategy is kind of like a box setup, focusing just on displacement and deviations from a range, and then ICT concepts, right? So that's kind of what I do. So this is kind of the idea I'm looking for. So we'll let it play ahead, retch up into there. Currently the bodies are respecting it, but I am going to mark out. Consequent encroachment of that, or just the middle, if you don't want to get all technical. Because I do think we might see a nice little drop here. Just based off of this reaction here. And then that would allow us to target this range here. All those orders under there. So what I am going to do, I don't know. Okay. Go down to a 5-minute here for the open, and we'll see what happens. I'll actually pull up a 1-minute here for those interested. So pretty aggressive out in consolidation, but go ahead 1 minute by 1 minute. Go to the 1 minute. So fair enough. Aggressive move higher, reaches up here. Didn't quite reach or didn't respect this little BPR here. Does make sense as this is where you learn stuff, right? Why am I wrong? Well, you just learn it that way. Then you realize this takes this high. That's your breaker, right? So there's that. And then if there was, not really a great 1 minute entry anyways. But as for my downside narrative, I want to see somewhere around 3,800 here. Will we hit it? Who knows, right? Okay. So now we're kind of at a point of interest where we're going to make another leg down. This is kind of where I'd want to see it, right? And ideally below this kind of initial consolidation, right? So might look to enter a trade short in here if we do get a setup. So we'll go down to 1x the speed. And ideally, we get something that looks like this. Reach into this fair value gap. If we want to take the high, that's fine. Break structure. This is where I look to enter. Right? Let's see. Looks like we're not gonna do that. And so that's why I don't just blindly take entries, right? Because if I have this idea, no structure came around here that validated my idea to go lower, right? So even though I was wrong, I didn't lose. This, I think it can go, we'll actually hop out and we'll take one more trade and then we'll hop out and I'll show you, we'll see how far back it can go. So, and it looks like we're gonna go reach for this buy side up here. We'll see. I'm just gonna take one more trade. Okay, so if that's our SMR, I'm gonna be targeting this low. Get that if we're gonna get it. I just want to take one more trade because I can show you guys the analytics they kind of give you, which is pretty cool. We'll see what happens here. Nothing yet. This is our intermediate term low we'd have to break. Once again, wrong, but doesn't hurt you. This is why I've been, sitting on the higher time frames, right? Because if we're on the lower time frames there, we get a little confused. Versus here, we notice we drop into here, aggressive, aggressive, reaching for buy side. It's its own application. It just uses like TradingView API, I'm pretty sure. So like basically think of like TradingView as a template where they put all their data into, if that makes sense. What I am going to do is I'll just show you guys real quick. So if you look, I'm pretty sure we can go right here, analytics. We only took one trade so far, which is fine. But it gives you all of these analytics, right? So you can mess around and learn, right? But and I guess export your data and you insert. Yeah, I haven't messed with it too much because I just got it yesterday, actually. And you also choose a strategy and you can back test it for, we've done 6 days. Yeah, I have a code. It doesn't benefit me at all, but it will benefit you if you just do ttrades edu. I'm pretty sure that does 15% off, but it is a 5-day. Like I'm still on the free trial, 5-day free trial. But what we'll do is we'll see how far back we can go. what's it called? FX replay. Like, I'll just pull up a different FX. I'll just drop the link. Yeah, that's funny. So we'll just create a session. Let's see. Let's start with 10,000 again. Uh, as I'm not sure how far we can go back. Let's see. Maybe we'll try 2000s. Okay, we can't do 2000s. 2004. Can't do 2004. I think somewhere I said 16. Let's try 2010. Nope. 2015. 18. Yeah, so we can do 2018. 2017. Do 2017. 2016. Yes. That was just. So it looks like I can go to 2017. Looks like. Yeah. Um, so it looks like 2017. So they have like 6 years of data or so. What would that be? Yeah, six-ish. I don't think you can do 2012. So about 6 years of data with on the 1 minute chart, which is a lot better than it doesn't have seconds charts yet. There's a few things I've asked them about. I'm gonna keep messing with the platform and giving them feedback. But what we can do, hop back into the one we started, right? Let me see, right here. Well, we may just want to reach up for that high. Let's see what the daily is. So we had our right little bias down here. You can see how we respect that order block right up to there. Based off this reaction, unless the next day drops back down, we're likely to reach for this high. Are we in the middle of the day, or what are we? Where are we at? We'll just play a couple real quick. Oh, we're going on a 1 minute. I'll go on like an hourly. Okay. So you look kind of at this, right? Currently rejecting it. We break this structure down. Likely to go take those lows. That is what I'd want. Just for the fun of it, we're gonna throw on one if it gives it to us. Okay. We're just gonna say screw it real quick and throw one more on there before we hop off. So let's throw it in here so we get filled. Run to there. And essentially all you do if you don't, this is what I figured out. Oh, I guess it still works. But yeah, it's pretty cool how you just put this on there and then you hit place order and it fills it. So risking under 10 to make 392. So we'll see. Let that play out. All right, run us out. We'll see. Oh, there we go. So I'm a swing trader now. But yeah. I think with that, if you guys have any questions, I'll go ahead and answer them. If not, we're at about an hour. I think I'm gonna do quite a few of these. Yeah, it is more expensive than trading too. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I think I'll probably hop off here unless you guys have any other questions. I think I'll probably do these maybe once a week or every once in a while if you guys enjoyed them. But yeah, I'll let you guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. Low risk sell. I took the low risk sell. If this is the smart money reversal. So essentially, here, I'll just draw it out real quick. So consolidation, kind of, this is kind of crappy. I think I can stay in drawing mode. Oh, nice. Right? That. So essentially, this is our smart money reversal up here, which you can see runs the high, break structure down. You have your fair value gap, pretty basic ICT setup, right? So that's your low risk sell. First leg of distribution off this order block, right? And this is your kind of your second leg down. So I don't use VWAP at all. Please, I actually have a YouTube video on what I do every morning with a naked chart. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. I gotta focus on learning the market maker sell models a little bit better. Market maker buy and sell models, because I think they're really good for narrative. But really what I do is like, this is how I use it, is I have some sort of point of interest. I have some sort of liquidity or etc. That's my original consolidation. My smart money reversal should be put in there. Then once I know on this side of the curve, right, that's when you know you have bearish order flow looking for sells, right? So, um, yeah, it mostly comes down to the displacement, drawn liquidity, etc., right? It's like when you see this move higher here and you're like getting afraid, well, look where we close. And it was most likely due to news, right? You have an hour candle that's literally 40 points. It was most likely due to news. And you see we stayed inside of it for quite a bit. Retest this order block. We'll actually jump down real quick and look at that. And so I don't know if you guys follow AM on Twitter. He talks about this quite a bit, but you have some sort of news, right? We reprice to this order block, right? And then that's where the sell occurs. You have the little breaker there. I probably wouldn't have chosen that real time. Probably would have gone down to a lower time frame, like a 15. And then ideally you get an SMT in here as well. But once you break down here, then you just know we're looking for sells that low. But he has a good post on his Twitter going over that. Yeah, essentially I go from daily. I go daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15. Most of my stuff comes from the 4 hour and 1 hour. For example, if we look at NQ, I gave it in my example. Let me see if I can find it on my Twitter real quick. Search real quick. So, for example, like most of my stuff comes from the 4 hour. So you saw this if you watched my latest video, but this was on Twitter, right? Everyone was saying hindsight and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. But essentially had these lows put in. That's my draw on liquidity, right? So most of my stuff comes from the 4 hour and 1 hour. Daily, I actually did use the weekly volume imbalance today, but my Twitter handle, I gotta look real quick. I think it's ttrades_edu. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to him for getting that. I don't trade options. I honestly suck at options. I'm not even gonna lie. How do we know when liquidity is being swept? So normally when liquidity is being swept, right? So like here's a good example. Right here. See how we break this low, aggressively come back into the range? There's no displacement or closes below here, right? That's when you get your move higher, where you're likely to be targeting this order block or these highs, right? Does that make sense? So the longer the width, kind of. The little box setup I trade, that's really just a wick or like a hammer or shooter candle on a lower time frame. Wait, let's see. Twitter. Oh, AM's Twitter handle. Let me pull it up. Here, I'll just drop a link to his page in here. Yeah, order block. I'm planning on that being one of my next videos. But favorite ICT model. I don't know, I kind of like them all. I'm going to focus more on market maker models into the next month or so. Displacement, I actually have a really good video on that on Kid876 that will do it better than me just teaching it right here. But for example here, if we're going to continue, right? Well, we took this low. If we don't displace below it, where are we likely to see this high, right? So if we're on a 4-hour here, don't displace below it, likely to go see that high. There you go, right? We see the high. So colors on this one, let me pull it up. It's just that green and then black for everything else. So, but that's really all it comes down to is like, okay, we identify lack of displacement below this low. We're likely to be targeting this high. Where you get the crazy risk to reward, like on our first trade, was we keep this higher time frame target, then you look down here for a lower time frame entry to manage your risk, so you get lower risk, and then you can long it. Right? That is ideally what I've been doing. How long I've been trading ICT? Let's see, like 10 months. 10 months about. I do a few other things for money too. I do work in a Discord, and then I am starting school back up in a week, so that will be fun. But awesome. But yeah, I'll give it. Let's see, how much percent on this back test? We did 14, almost 15% in 2 trades. I mean, I could have just went and taken that one. So like with that, that's daily. Oh, is that really on the daily chart? That's wild. But, right, so this is that lack of displacement right in here. You get this move, break structure up here. Here's your first opportunity, buy, right there. Where's the second opportunity? Doesn't quite give it right there, but pretty clean move up. I think, I don't know if this is S&P 500. It looks a little more choppy than ES, so I wonder where they pulled data from. I'm not going to talk about my personal stuff right there, but background color, it's just, I think it's like, I just chose a random one. F1, F1, F1. Apparently I like F1. I don't watch it, but maybe I should start. Where would my stops be placed? So ideally, this is the hourly, right? So I don't execute on the hourly. So like, let's say we're looking for an entry somewhere in here, right? Go down to our 15-minute. We see. And then this is where kind of the box setup comes into play, right? So we have an area or point of interest. We broke below. This is our deviation right here. Obviously, this is hindsight, you know, but you take the previous lows, right? Select that, entry long, right? Something like that. It's all fractal. So like this is what I prefer to do on like using an hourly and then using a 5-minute, right? So if we go to a 5-minute, can we get it even lower, right? Well, likely, right? So there's that. Well, what if we are like, okay, we're going to use this because there's nothing that's really imbalanced in here. So what if we take this fair value gap entry, risk this low, target, same thing. Now we have 13R, right? So that's just how I try to. It's a lot easier to increase your risk to reward by decreasing your risk than increasing your target. But IRB at the bottom too. What's IRB? But for the most part, those box setups, I like them on the hourly 4-hour 15, right? So like ideally, it didn't give it to it, but right there, I would have preferred if it came down, hit there, then would have gave another entry there versus right there. But oh, low risk buy, yeah. But with that, I think I'll probably hop off. Let me know in the comments below after if you guys did enjoy it or what I could do better. But I will see you guys all later. Hope you have a great rest of your strats work well in the Forex. Yeah, I think ICT made them for Forex at the beginning. Bullish breaker when it retests the breaker below continues. You wanna take a screenshot of it and send it to me on Twitter? But yeah, I do have a Discord. I can drop that link in chat. Or actually, if you want to just send me a DM on Twitter, that'll be easier. But I'll see you guys all later. So have a good one. Peace.